Okay, in this video I'm going to show you how I compile the reports that I pay you off of. So the first thing I do is I go to the Reports tab and I click there, and then I'm going to come down here and I'm going to look for the QuickBooks Import File 2, and I'm going to open that up. And then for my date range, I'm going to choose the last pay period, which for this instance it was December 1st to the 15th, and I'm going to view that report. And I'm going to go ahead and export it as an Excel document so that way I can work on it. And if you're in Firefox, which you should be when you're working on SpaBooker, your downloads will come up here into the arrow. You just click on that arrow, click on your document, and there it is. Then the next thing I need to do is I need to open up your report from the last week. So I'm going to come back here, and I found it, so I've opened that up. But I need to go under your Revenue tab, and I'm going to clear everything out of the Revenue tab. So I'm making sure everything is 0 up here. And then I'm going to come over to the Services Performed tab, and I just clear out column 2, or A through L, because the other stuff has formulas in it. Okay. And then I'm going to go back here, and I just want this to all be zeros. That's what I'm looking for, is for that to all be in A's or zeros. So I've already pulled your report, and it's right here under the QuickBooks. Go ahead and save it. File, Save As. And I have all these. Everybody has a Dropbox. So if you don't have access to your Dropbox, let me know, and I will find out why. And so I'm going to save this one as 12/15. (12/15/2014). Okay, so that's saved there too. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to unwrap everything. I click on this little button here, and that will highlight everything, and I can move it over and kind of shrink it all down so I can see everything on one page. That's really what I want to do right now. The first thing I want to know is I want to know what were your sales. So here's your payment method, and it shows me all the different ways you pay. So I'm going to come up here to the Sort and Filter. I'm going to select Filter, and that gives me my little arrows. And here I'm going to use my drop down, and I'm going to just remove the blanks. Okay. Then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to copy all this. And copy that. And so I'm looking for your revenue, so I'm going to paste it here. I'm going to go to A2, pretend I'm playing bingo. And I just make sure it's the right color so I can see it. And what I do know here is, like, up here I have these headers, so I need to kind of cut and paste, or cut here. So where the undeposited is in F, I'm going to click there. I'm going to drive all the way over to my L's, and then I'm going to go down because none of this information is important to me. Then I'm going to click here, and I'm going to delete that information. I want to shift the cells left. Sometimes it'll want to shift your cells up, but you want to shift your cells left. Then I'm going to come up here to my little triangle, back over here to my Sort and Filter. I'm going to do a custom sort, and I want to do everything by payment method, pay method. So then that sorts it in the right way. So American Express, you have your cash, checks, Discover, and then your gift cards. Well, your gift cards, that's what you use for your Groupons. And so I'm going to cut those out of there and just move them over here because I don't want that information saved here. Okay, so all I really want in here is your cash, checks, and your credit cards. So you actually did take some cash. So I'm going to tell it equal sum, open parentheses. I'm going to put your cash and checks in here. And then your credit cards actually are, you have some American Express up here. Then you have all these down here. So that's your credit cards. And then here's where it totals everything together. Your total sales are all of F. All of column F. So then I want to know, and so just so we're clear, he has his own merchant account. So any of these credit card charges, they went directly into his bank account. And then all of these cash charges, they collected straight at the clinic. So therefore, I don't owe them any money for any of those sales. Okay? Then I'm going to come over here to the services performed, and I'm going to go back to that QuickBooks report. I'm going to scroll up to the top to that payment method, and I'm going to tell it to select all. Then I come over here to column F and select and choose services income. So these are the massages that you actually performed in the clinic. Okay? And here I copy from A to L. I'm going to highlight all of that. I'm going to copy it. I'm going to come back to my SpaBooker report. And here I am on the Services Perform tab, A2. I'm going to paste it all here. I'm going to make it the right color so it doesn't drive me crazy. And then the next thing I need to do is I need to sort it. I'm going to custom sort. I have a header. My header is called item. And I'm going to tell it OK. Oh, I skipped a button, so let me go back here. And so if you see, they're busier than they were last week. So I need to highlight N and O, and I'm going to drag it down. And then I'm going to make sure there's no NAs in here, because sometimes we change the name of something and it will cause an error to come up here. But now all of those are filled in. I'm going to highlight that little block there. I'm going to do a custom sort. I'm going to do it by item. And I'm going to tell it OK. So there's all their Christmas massages, there's all their 60-minute, and then here's all their Groupon massages down here. Okay, so here I've got my sales. These are all the sales. These are all the massages that were performed at that clinic. I'm coming over here to my payment tab, and this is the total of all the sales in the clinic. So this comes from revenue I1. So if I go back to my revenue tab and I look for I1, this is my total. The next thing I'm going to look at is the credit cards. These are all the credit card sales that went through that clinic. And if you look up, it comes from revenue M1. So I can click on that revenue tab, find M1, and there it is. This one is all the cash that was taken in that clinic. It comes from K1 on the revenue tab. So here's our revenue, and here's K1. And all this has been collected in their clinic, okay? So then I need to pay him for his daily deals. So here, under daily deal redemption, I'm going to tell it equal sum, open parentheses, and then I come over here to the services performed, and I find those Groupons, and I highlight that, and hit enter. So he did 22 Groupon massages for $429. And if somebody were to come to Massage Advantage and Massage Advantage corporate portal and make a purchase, and then we would pay you 90% of that sale, that's where this would go right here. Okay, so sometimes I might tell you we did a sale and I owe you some money, and that's what that amount of money is there. But you would have a separate spreadsheet that would correlate with that number. So their total sales for this period for their Groupons is $429. The total sales for the clinic were $3,673.13. So I'm going to go ahead and come up here and I do a file, save as, and here I'm already in the Spa Booker part of this, so I can just change the date and the information. So I changed the dollar amount to $429, and then I changed the date to 12/15. And then this is what we are going to pay that clinic off of. So if you have any questions, let me know. You can watch this video over and over again. And this is how we at corporate come up with the figures on what we pay you for the massages you perform for us. Thanks a lot for listening, and we'll talk to you later.